Hey everyone, please check out my Patreon page. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and there's a lot of nice prizes that are given monthly. This is Chuck Reynolds. I want to thank you for stopping by my channel this morning. I've had some really interesting comments on some of my videos, and if you've been watching my channel for any time, you know that I do a lot with metal. I was doing a lot of plasma cutting. I do a lot of welding, do a lot of melts. I do a lot of well, a little bit of sand casting. I'm just getting started doing that. And the comments weren't about so much what the videos were about. It was about my safety in doing what I do. And I got to thinking about it, and it's really true, because I've watched some other videos just to see and compare. And I've seen many videos with people in shorts and flip-flops, no gloves, no face mask, and working with metals, molten metals, or welding, or working with acids. And it's, to say the least, it's not safe. And there's enough equipment on the market that you shouldn't have to do that. I mean, a lot of the stuff is a little pricey, and some of it isn't pricey at all. So I'm going to go over a couple things that should make these kind of things easier and safer. Give me a minute to set up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got a kind of a hodgepodge of stuff here, but I'm going to go over some of the stuff. Some of it's really obvious, or it should be. If I'm welding, you always see me wearing a hood. I mean, it's just, I've seen guys try to weld blindfolded, or not blindfolded, with their eyes closed, and it's just really hard and not safe, so don't do that. Obviously, you need welding gloves when you're welding. Now, what I've been using, these are Tillman MIG gloves. They're made especially for MIG welding, and that's what I do. 99% of it's MIG welding, and these are fairly old, but they work really well. They're a little bit more flexible than the welding gloves. They're shorter. These are regular welding gloves, and you can tell that they're probably 3-4 inches shorter, but it's just something to protect your hands. As you can see, my gloves are burnt in different spots, splatters all over them, and they're just to keep you from getting burnt. This is a welding cap, and this goes on backwards. You know, the bill goes down to the back of your neck, like so, and this keeps you from burning your if you have hair, burning your hair, or burning the back of your neck. Something I wear if I'm welding underneath something is my welding jacket, and it's leather sleeves and fireproof cloth. As you can tell, this has been around a while and been through the wood mill. So that keeps you pretty safe if you're welding. Now, if I'm just grinding, probably what I'll do is I'll use a pair of, these are called truck driver gloves, but they're leather for grinding, ear protection for the grinders, because after a while you won't be able to hear. And depending on what I'm grinding, typically I'll use these N95s. These particular ones, they were out of the ones I normally use that have a vent, but they're for particulate. They're not for, like, if you're spray painting lacquer or something, they won't work for that, so don't do that. But the ear protection, I've got a pair in here, and another pair that when we go shoot, they're different. So anyhow, that's for like grinding. Now, if I'm doing a sand cast or a melt, a lot of different safety equipment. One is these gloves. These are the big leather welding gloves. And as you can see, they're burnt in several different places on them. And I don't know if you've ever been around a foundry, you have heat coming out the center of the top. And if you just move your hand across the top, like this where that hole is, you'll burn the hair right off your hand. I mean, it's really hot there, and you can get an arm if you lean and it happens to be right there, or if you happen to look over there trying to pick up something, you can get terribly burned really fast. And some of the stuff I melt, like brass, has a toxic fume. And this mask, actually it's a respirator. It's a charcoal respirator with, I don't know what to call these. These are kind of filters on the charcoal. And they're good for just about anything. Now this is a little pricey. These are 3M. And these are 6001 filters on it. There's 2 of them. And it vents out the front, or in and out the front. There's where you pull your air. Really good. Like I say, a little pricey. I think this is $49 or $59. I got 2 of them. So if you're doing a melt, doing that, it's good to protect your lungs. You only get one set, you know, and if you screw them up, they're done. Now if you're, I'm going to show you some other things on the melt, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what I use. I have the same pair of gloves there, but I got like 3 pair of these things, so that for the welding gloves. I use welding gloves because stuff is really hot. You know, it's 1800, 2000 degrees a lot of times. Same respirator for the metals. This, I use almost all graphite crucibles. I think I've only got 2 steel. And I've seen so many people make a bad mistake with these graphite crucibles. Now this is for an electric. And these are the tongs for it. And as you can see right here, there's a groove. So when you're going to make a pour, this fits right in the groove, and it's for this size. And you do your pour. Real simple. But these are used for other things. I know it looks like you can do this, but don't do that. I mean, your hands are going to be right in front of the pour. Even if you get this thing where it sits straight, these aren't made for that. It's, if you were picking up metals to put in your foundry, that's what it's for. So don't do those. Don't do channel locks. Just don't do that. If you get a spill, this is molten metal. And if you saw my last video, that metal that I spilled on the aluminum tray that I had underneath my flask, it burnt right through it, and that was brass. If you're wearing flip-flops and that falls on your foot, it's going to burn right through your toes. Or if you spill on a hand or on your clothes, you know, you're going to have the right things on just for safety, because accidents happen. Now what I do when I'm stirring, and the small one, this is a stainless steel rod. I don't know how many of these I got 2 or 3 of them, I guess, to steel. I stir this up, and to get your slag out, this is a homemade slag remover. Also, when you're pouring with molten metal, you need something to protect your legs and your chest. This doesn't protect your arms, but as you can see, this one's had a lot of heat on it here. You can tell by the color. And if you don't wear these, this is extra protection. When I'm doing the big foundry, I always use this. When I do the electric one, not so much. But I wear leather boots. Any clothing that I wear, like these Carhartt shirts, like the one I have on, it's all cotton, 100% cotton. My jeans are cotton. Do not wear any acrylics. It will melt right to your skin if you get in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So this is just all safety stuff. I know it's probably pretty boring for you, but I got one more thing to show you, and see how much time we've got left on the clock, and maybe I'll do a pour. I'm not sure yet, but let me get this turned. Okay guys, I'm on the other side of the shop now. This is where my bigger foundry is, while my little foundry is over here. You can see behind me. In front of me here that you can't see is the big foundry, and I'll pull that out in a minute. And all the tools, and another piece of safety, I call it safety equipment. And what that is, if you look down there on the floor, right here, this is one of my exhaust fans. I've got another one over here that you can't see that's bigger, it's about this tall, and I've got a square room fan. All for exhaust, to get the smoke out of here, get the fumes out of here while I'm working. Now here, if you look, you'll see this is the finder, and this is what I was talking about, the hole on the top. The little one has the same thing, only it's only about that big. This one, you can stick your hand in here. This gets incredibly hot. This gets so hot, there's a ceiling fan right above where I work, and it'll make that ceiling fan go round and round, just from the heat exhausting up through the top of this. And this is a propane foundry. And as you can see, it's been around a while, and I had a lot of metal go through it. It's been a good machine. I built this from scratch myself, and it works fine. I mean, it was a pain in the butt to build. But again, there are things that you need to have if you're going to do a foundry at all. And there's different designs for the big ones like this, of some of the stuff, and some of the stuff I just made like this isn't really a safety device here. I don't know if you can see, oh, no, I'm too close. This is just a mold. I pour my bars in this, but it's angle iron, heavy duty, heavy handle, and I put a lot of aluminum in this, and brass and copper, and it works really good. When I mount this though, what I mount it on, let's see, can you see here? This is fire brick. I've got a whole box of fire bricks here. I found out from use that you cannot just have metal poured in a mold like that and sit it on like a floor tile. It'll break it in a heartbeat. A safety thing. Don't do that. Use fire brick. For the big one, these are the tongs. Much bigger set of tongs, like that little set you saw for the little one. These are probably barbecue tongs or something, but for this you can pick up metal, drop it through that hole in the top, like so. And to keep your hands away from this top, when it's roaring right here, you'll get burnt right here. So your metal has to go in like this, a safety thing. That is safety, to keep you from getting burnt. You saw the stainless steel stir rod. This is just a piece of 1/2 inch all thread. I think it's number 4 all thread. But look at the length of it. It's higher than the can, so I can go through here and stir and not worry about getting my hands too close on something short. This is really more dangerous than the little one because it gets so much hotter. And when you get crap built up in there, now usually I pull the lid and you go down into your graphite crucible and pull out your stuff. And again, what I do is I dump it on the fire brick. Because even concrete, if you pour hot metal on concrete and there's moisture in that concrete, it will explode and blow chips out of it at you. So another safety deal. These two things are from my steel crucible and doesn't really apply here. I mean, I could show it to you, but it's kind of a waste of time because it's not really a safety thing. It's just all that in particular dumps. This is my Frankenstein Clip, or I don't know how to call it, what to call this now. It's for picking up your crucible. And what this does, you can see here there's a clip here. And this thing's huge, and most guys have two. One that you use to pick the crucible up out of the foundry, and set it down, and another one to pick it up and dump. This one does the whole thing. Let me get a Crucible and I'll show you how that works. So we're going to take Frankenstein here. I say this is for safety, and it is, because again, this is cherry red when you go in. And you'll notice there's two handles here. A T-handle and this handle. There's a reason for that. And you open them up, drop it in on the Crucible, like so. Now, Crucibles are soft too when they're hot. And you take this over and you dump it like this. And if you notice, there's a pin right here. And that protects that Crucible from falling out. And I can go pretty steep. And this has a T-handle on this end. But it's just a beast. It's so big, it's heavy. It does what it's supposed to. But I'm going to probably build two. One that I can lift this up with that has handles go this way. Then one that I can pick it up crossways and do my pour. And now again, this is the safety thing. This is all safety stuff. Keep you from getting burnt. I can't say enough. You know, the people who've asked me these questions, I thank you for that. It's something lets me know that you're actually watching the video, and because a lot of the videos I'm not, you can see me from probably waist down or from chest down. You very seldom see my face or anything, but this is really important, guys. I just can't emphasize enough. Safety is so important when dealing with hot metals, molten metals especially. You don't get a second chance. You splash it on you, you're burnt. And that's probably forever, for life. Anyhow, I just thought this would be of interest to especially those people who have questioned me on it. What do you use to keep from getting burnt? What do you use to keep from inhaling all those fumes? What do you use for heat protection? And that's it. That's what I do. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, come back again, and I'll show you something that doesn't have to do with safety. I promise this is the last safety one. All right, guys. See you later.